If you want, we could play this sound talking about the Virginia Tech massacre, because one area where he's been arguably ahead of the curve coming from Virginia is he's been pretty good on guns from the beginning and has never sort of backed down on that, and is very hated by the NRA, is very hated by the gun lobby. And at his rally in Miami with her, if you want to hear it now, he talked about the Virginia Tech massacre when he was governor and his position on guns.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's go.
Through my time as governor, I had just arrived in Japan on a trade mission to bring jobs back to Virginia. Had checked into the hotel room, had fallen asleep when the knock came at my door, and the head of my security detail said, "Governor, you got to turn on the TV. We're going to get on the phone. There's a horrible shooting underway at Virginia Tech, this wonderful college in Blacksburg, Virginia." And as jet-lagged as I was and just arrived, I said, "Take me back to the airport. I'm getting the first plane home." It was 14 hours over. It was 14 hours back. And I walked onto that campus, jet-lagged and in the wrong time zone. But I knew that, as a leader, even though I didn't have any magic words to say that would take away the horror of the tragedy, I had to bring comfort in some way to the families of those who had been killed, to the students and professors who had been injured, and also to the first responders who had been there to help them. This April 16, 2007, that was the worst day of my life. It was the worst day
Weird applause break.
of so many people's lives. And for the parents and the loved ones of those kids and professors, that pain never goes away. Precious 17-year-olds, a 70-plus-year-old Lithuanian-born Holocaust survivor who was a teacher, who could survive the Holocaust, who could survive the Soviet takeover of his country, but who fell victim to gun violence because he blocked the door and told his students to climb out the window as his body was being riddled with bullets. Survive the Holocaust, survive the Soviet takeover of your country, and fall victim in Blacksburg, Virginia, to the horror of American gun violence. So when the vast majority of Americans, and even a majority of NRA members, agree that we have to adopt common sense gun safety measures, Hillary and I will not rest. Will not rest.
So there you have it, Sam. And apparently he's been very strong on this issue for his tenure in Virginia politics.
Yeah, and in the context of Virginia, I mean, I think that's that shows some strength. I mean, look, the the issue for Bernie voters, the issue as it breaks down in the ideological cleave in the Democratic Party is less about guns,
right,
to be honest with you,
Absolutely.
and more about things like Wall Street. And the guy's not very good in that accord.
Right.
And I can't help but think, frankly, that the Tim Kaine stuff, in fact, everything is so tainted in some respects by the fact that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is still there. I mean, I hate to come back to that, but it is so symbolic and so indicative of, like, I just, that to me is just, it's political malpractice.
Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.